Hi, my name's Daryl, and here's some Jeep news for the first week of November. So as you probably know, there was a pretty substantial recall on 4xEs, both with the Jeep Wrangler as well as the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Something that happened just a couple of days ago, as reported by the Wrangler 4xE fans YouTube page and probably their Facebook page as well, is that the Stellantis hotline for the corporate as well as the Jeep Cares hotline were basically totally overwhelmed because of both basically Wrangler owners as well as Grand Cherokee owners of the 4xE calling in to find out, whether or not their Jeep was affected and whether or not the recall, if they had a fix for it yet. And so if you are a 4xE owner, I would really recommend that you look at this YouTube page. He creates a lot of content almost daily, specifically about the 4xE, and he's been all over this recall. So it would really be in your best interest to subscribe to his page, as well as check out his Facebook page. It's called Jeep 4xE Fans, and the YouTube page is Wrangler 4xE Fans. And so he does a really good job of letting people know. Now, if you do have a 4xE, and basically the recall is for all 4xEs, but it doesn't mean that you're actually on the recall list. Right now, they don't want you to charge your 4xE or even park it inside a building or even close to another building. I don't know how you do that. But if you want to check to see if your 4xE is affected, just go to the Mopar page, and then you can scroll down and go to check for recalls, and then you can type your VIN number in, and it will let you know if you are affected by the battery issues, and I guess it's the 95B recall. And if you aren't affected, then you can go ahead and drive your 4xE by normal and charge it and park it wherever you want. So yeah, that's some information on 4xEs. So the next bit of information, and this is not so much Wrangler news or Jeep news, but really it's about competition for the Wrangler and Gladiator. So if you've been like under a rock and haven't heard about the Scout, they just introduced the Scout in a live stream a couple of days ago, and this thing is pretty amazing. So it's very similar in it as a Jeep Wrangler. It's an off-road vehicle, it's body on frame, it's got a solid rear axle, it's got lockers. I mean, it's the real thing. And it also has removable tops, or at least somewhat like the Skytop one-touch top. And this is what's really amazing. It's electric, so you can choose either electric or you can actually have it be a plug-in hybrid. And the plug-in hybrid isn't a conventional plug-in hybrid, it's a generator-based hybrid in that they'll have a separate engine, probably a boxer engine. This company, the Scout Motors, they're actually under the Volkswagen umbrella. I'm not exactly sure how that works out, but Volkswagen has a relationship with Scout Motors, and so they do have a lot of the resources that Volkswagen has behind it. It's likely they're going to use some sort of boxer engine in the back to act as a generator, and this thing has over 500 miles of range. I think it has about 350 miles of range just with the EV, or 400 miles of range with the EV, and then with the generator it's able to add 100 miles or so. So it lets you not have so much of that range anxiety when you're on a long trip, because you can basically gas up with gas as opposed to having to find a charger somewhere. And so yeah, go ahead and check this out. It was a big media event, and a lot of media, especially even a lot of folks that were doing a lot of content on Wranglers, attending the event, and they're very impressed with the vehicle. So yeah, just more competition for the Jeep and the Jeep Wrangler, so I'm sure Stellantis is really thrilled about that. Now, the next bit of information is more competition for the Wrangler, and this time it's Toyota. So the reliability of Toyota with kind of more of the off-roady, open air experiences that you get from a Wrangler and a Gladiator. That's what these concept vehicles that Toyota has developed at Sema are attempting to do. Of course, I don't know if Jeep is even at Sema. They have said that, they don't want to really have the expense of going to these trade shows anymore. And so, yeah, Jeep probably doesn't even have a presence there, but Toyota does. And they introduced the Land Cruiser concept. And this thing is just, I mean, this thing just looks absolutely amazing. And you can see this information on the press room of Toyota.com. And also there is a YouTube page about Toyota, and you can get more information about these concept vehicles at their YouTube page. And the last bit of Jeep news is about the Jeep Reconn EV. So Jeep is in the process of developing an EV similar to the Wrangler, but not with all the off-road goodies of the Wrangler. I believe it's an independent front suspension. I don't think it has lockers, disconnecting sway bars, anything like that. But it is meant to be sort of an off-road vehicle, and it is an EV. I don't think Stellantis is really reading the environment or reading the culture very well, in that they're still pursuing this EVs, where I think in general, especially the US population, is kind of souring towards EVs. And in Europe, they're also souring towards EVs. And the chairman, who is actually going to be resigning here in another year or so, has said that he doesn't want China to continue to forge ahead in EVs and have Stellantis get further behind. So they want to continue making EVs. And they actually said that they're willing to sacrifice the internal combustion engine and make less of those engines in order to continue making EVs. And so I think that's some pretty poor decision making on the chairman's part and Stellantis's part. But this is from the JL Wrangler forums, and they got some different spy shots of the 2025 Jeep Recon. Yeah, a lot of people said it sort of looks like a Ford Bronco Sport, and I kind of agree with them on that. It's got some really big windows. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm a super fan of this particular vehicle, and I'm really not a fan right now of EVs because I live in Las Vegas and we have plenty of charge stations around here. I wouldn't have a concern about driving an EV around town. My concern is on an EV of driving across the country. We do a lot of camping, we do a lot of towing, and with a tow vehicle, you don't get very much range with an EV at all. And Stellantis does have a Dodge Ram Charger that's coming up relatively soon with the V6, the tried and true Pentastar V6, probably running on the Atkinson cycle, basically being a generator, and then it having be a pure EV, but that V6 acting as a generator. And so I really don't know why they're not kind of, I mean, I understand the development cycle in producing and manufacturing vehicles. It takes a long time. These legacy auto manufacturers, they have problems being very nimble. But for instance, when I talked about the Scout, initially that was going to be just an EV. And they sensed what was happening in the culture and the industry and what people really wanted. And they pivoted and they're like, oh, well, you can have it be an EV, or you can also have it be a plug-in hybrid, and we'll have a gas engine on there for you so you don't have to worry about the range. And so, yeah, it was really smart of Scout, really smart of Stellantis for the Dodge Ram Charger, and I don't know why they aren't considering that more for their other vehicles. The other thing is with the 4xe and the problems with the 4xe, there's been so many recalls, and it's really tough for Stellantis right now, because I would be very hesitant to recommend a 4xe for anyone based on, the customer's experiences with a 4xe. A lot of brand new customers of Jeeps, Wranglers, first time Wrangler owners got the 4xe because that's, what was only available on dealer lots in a lot of circumstances. And you know, they're very frustrated with it. So it's really tough, and it's left a bad taste in people's mouths. So yeah, Stellantis is in a really tough spot. So this is your Jeep news for November, and I hope to see you in the next news segment very soon.